The house on Rawson Street has a rhythm that took me a while to understand. It lacks the silence of the library or the stagnant noise of internet forums, and in exchange offers the sound of creaking old wood and vinyl records that never stop spinning. The Yankee had the doors turned all the way up, and Morrison's voice seemed to bounce off the spines of the thousands of books covering the walls. The Mexican was hanging around the kitchen, the smell of veggie tacos mixing with antique paper and furniture wax. I tried to move my right arm. Reality hit me in the face. I still had it splinted, heavy as breakwater quartzite. Under the bandages, my skin had lost its original texture, cold, rough, like it had withstood the sea for 50 years. I looked at the boss. She had a small cardboard box on the table that had arrived by mail, and inside, a stone that glowed with a light too perfect to be real. "It's resin, archivist," she told me. "A cheap swindler wanted to sell us a pig in a poke." She decided we were going downtown to demand a refund. I would be the bearer of the package, because with my arm like this, no one would suspect that in my other hand I would carry a real Tyrion Stone, inside an airtight lead container. They wanted this Sergio to see the difference between a plastic toy and a piece of the eternal night. We left the house when the sun was already going down, leaving that dirty orange color over the sea that could barely be seen from Playa Chica. The Yankee opened the back doors of the Stallion. Inside, the van was a mixture of mechanical workshop and discard lab, cables hanging from the ceiling, monitors bolted to the walls, lead plates lining the inside. The city looked strange from the Stallion. The lights of the buildings on Cologne Avenue were starting to turn on, but to me they had ceased to be simple apartments and looked like cells of an immense beehive. We passed near the Torrion del Monge. Vagabond once wrote that its foundations rest on a network of tunnels smugglers used 100 years ago to move things the sun could not see. Places where the air is different. As we neared downtown, my arm began to throb with a dull rhythm, as if greeting the stone secured in the lead. I felt like we were walking into the lion's mouth. We walked down the San Martin pedestrian wall. The boss went first, setting the pace with heels that sounded like gunshots against the tiles, and the three of us followed like a Praetorian guard of the bazaar. The galleries in the city center are time capsules. They all have that air of old glory, a place that fell asleep in the 80s and woke up with peeling walls. The sign read, "Crystals of the Soul," in gold letters that were chipping off. Inside, the air was saturated with sandalwood incense, and plastic Buddhas coexisted with glass pyramids and self-help books. I rested my splinted forearm on the glass of the counter and heard a slight creak, as if the glass were about to give way under a weight I couldn't explain. Sergio turned red. As he stammered about his certificates, I noticed the quartz crystals on a silver tray begin to vibrate. The airtight lead lid was starting to unscrew itself, just a few millimeters, letting out a thread of green light. "Open it, archivist," the boss ordered. Her voice had lost all trace of youth. It sounded like someone who has seen empires turn to dust. I lifted the lead lid. There was no explosion, but the air in the shop changed nature in a second. The true stone let out a throb that blew the shop's fuses. The glass counter cracked from end to end. Sergio stood mute, watching a thick, white, electric fog begin to sprout from the stone. Something emerged from the Tyrion Stone. A legless torso made of a light that illuminated nothing around it. It had no eyes, two zones where light sank inward, as if matter at that point had forgotten it exists. The air in the center of the shop lost its shape, a rectangle of nothingness that absorbed the surrounding light without returning it. The Yankee took a step forward, drawing the dissipator, a device that shoots energetic containment in solid beams of a blue that made your eyes hurt. The Mexican did the same. "Julian, bring the stone close," the boss ordered. She was the only one not shouting, arms crossed, watching the destruction like someone looking at a damp patch on the ceiling. I walked toward the center of the shop. With my left hand, I stretched the true Tyrion stone toward that chaos of light and shadow. With one last throb that shook the air of the entire shop, the entity was sucked back into the mineral. The hole in the air closed. Without a sound. As if it had never been. Fella walked to the counter, lifted the true Tyrion stone, now cold and opaque, as if satisfied, and slipped it into the inner pocket of her jacket. "Now, Sergio, I want my refund." We walked out of the gallery onto the San Martin pedestrian street and the contrast hit me like a slap. It was 5 in the afternoon. Nobody had noticed what had just happened. As we drove away, I pulled out my notebook and, typing with the hand that still responded, began to record what had happened. I looked at the splinted arm, the pulse I had felt during the whole journey had calmed down. Only quiet quartzite, searching for nothing. I recorded it.